when you come across a team like this that's going to try to keep the ball away from you, is it possible expectation of maybe trying to do too much when you get it? How do you handle that?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, valid. I think it's in some ways it's an approach that you got to be aware of, but you can't focus too much on our side of the ball. I think you think of it a little bit like how we played in the bowl game against an Army team that's different by scheme, but similar by going. I've been fortunate to be in the league in the Big Ten for 5 years. And very familiar with Minnesota and other squads that play similar styles. So everybody's a little bit different. They play a good brand of football. They play exactly the culture and stuff that Coach Flex built is all seen throughout their film. So we're familiar. We've got our brand and our culture too that we've got to make sure that we still become who we want to be. But it's certainly a factor in the game. I don't think you're going to see a possessions of 28 possessions in the game by any means. I think our guys know they've got to focus on us and how we got to play and be who we are. But it's a factor and it's certainly a brand they play.
You mentioned possessions. I'm going to imagine that this game is going to be about maximizing them when you get them, because they don't run a whole bunch of plays. They like to run clock, that type of thing. Is that how you go about it?
Yeah, and I think it's again like it's there, and we all know that. Like watch the film, you know it. I think it'll be a piece of being able to deal with that and maximize them anyway. Because, as you would say, it's like I said this week about recruiting class. I don't think anybody ever says, "Nope, we didn't have a good day." You know what I mean? So we're trying to maximize them every possession as we've went through and tried to improve how we've benefited from the second half of the season, becoming us, and who is that? That's to protect the football. To really become physical and do that meaningful, like straining with physicality and then playing with the details it takes to win football games at this level. So, and it's not a cliche. Like that's who we are. And for us to grow up front and continue to find ways to run the football and play winning offensive football, we're going to have to do that. And then yes, of course, when you have less possessions, that just becomes extra in it to make sure you do those same three things we try to focus on from the start.
You look at them, they haven't had many off days defensively, particularly after the opener. What do you see from their defense that jumps out at you immediately?
Yeah, I mean, it's a glaring statistical pop. I mean, you see what they are stat-wise. I don't think they've given up over 300 yards in 6 games, the last 6 games. They're top 5 to top 10 in every statistical category. There's a reason for it. It's one of the best defenses we'll face, if not the best. We've played great defenses in this league, as you all know as well. Our guys have had to face those types, and it's going to be a monumental task for our guys. You see a defensive front that is long and big and active. The linebacker group that is long and big and active. The safeties are very active. Corners are very active, especially from the boundary. So there is no you certainly don't have to turn on the film and wonder why. They're very functional and line up well. There's everything they do sound. It's a compliment. They defeat blocks as good as anybody we've watched as well. So it's very easy to see as to why they're so productive.
Did you try to use Jared's bowl performance last year as any motivation? Do you try to forget about it? How do you kind of go about trying to ensure that he plays better this time?
Yeah, we wouldn't discuss it at all. We have to be able. You've got to learn by it and stay motivated. But we try to, you want to use things that are positive most of the time to motivate. And I think just the body of work in the last 6 games and finishing 4 of our last 6 and winning these last 2 are things we want to make sure. It's much easier. Everybody says like there's things that always haunt you that motivate you. But, man, it's much easier. I always equate it to basketball. It's a whole lot easier to learn from making a shot than it is missing it. But there's plenty to learn from misses too. But we'd rather be able to feel good about what we're doing and learn from those. So I think it's more of that. And then understanding those past plays or past things we all have on our minds, whether it's by staff and players, just allow you to motivate you and grow and not let them, be in the way from any growth, if that would make sense.
Big opportunity for Tony this week too. How excited? I mean, obviously, when somebody played probably, how excited are you for Tony and Justin maybe get some carries?
Right. Yeah, well, I think we all are. Just you know what, we're so proud with how we've grown and all those things. And I think Tony's getting ready to come in here and talk. And I'm sure he's put himself. The good thing is for Tony, he's not surprised by it. He's worked his tail off to get to this point, and he got a flash of that in the last game, and certainly now to get to this point, I would hope that he would tell you there's nothing's going to change about his preparation. It's just his opportunity is going to go up. So I'm sure when you've prepared the right way like Tony has, now he just slides right in and takes a higher role and runs with it. And we expect him to, and I'm sure he does as well.